Hey there, Fisi fans, and welcome back to my little career mode series in the lead up to F1 2013. Moving straight on from the successful victories in Spain and Monaco last time out, which put me up to second place in the championship. We're now at race 7 for the Canadian Grand Prix. I had been struggling a little bit with pace during qualifying, and as we now are in qualifying 2, it will be interesting to see if my pace is good enough to get me into Q3 for a top 8 position on the grid. Let's have a look. Oh, P9. It's only P9, which means that because there's only 8 cars in the qualifying 3 with this mod installed, that means we're now out of qualifying and we'll start the race from P9 on the grid. So it's not a perfect place to start, but it could definitely have been worse considering some of our qualifying sessions earlier in the season. As you could see earlier, it was Fernando Alonso who will be starting this race on pole, the championship leader, followed by Rosberg and Vettel. But now, run for the 5 lights here at the Canadian Grand Prix, and away we go! Starting from starting from 9, just behind Button and Hamilton, the former McLaren teammates, as we're gonna go now straight into the middle of them. Just trying to look for the gap that'll get me the best line through the first couple of corners. And we managed to pass both Button and Hamilton. And now we got, actually, Button is trying to regain the position, but I managed to hold it around this chicane, and Massa has gone very slow, and I managed to pass him as well, and now going side by side with Webber, and Fernando Alonso has dropped from pole position down to P4, and now I'm going up the inside of the championship leader to take 4th place in the race. Alonso has had a horrible start, and that is good for the championship title race, but not good for Fernando. So we've had some good starts earlier in the season as well, and this is another example of that. As Alonso, it looks like he's dropped it a little bit back actually. There's quite a bit of a gap forming behind me now, after only a few corners after passing him. And Raikkonen is the car ahead. I'm not quite sure, surely it's either Vettel or Rosberg with leading the race, as it looks like they're kind of battling for the win at the moment. Ooh, Wall of Champions. Maybe that's a good omen for the championship title race, but not a good omen for this race that I've lost my end plate hitting the Wall of Champions. And now I'm actually having a look around the outside of Kimi Raikkonen going towards turn 1 and 2. Oh, can I pull it off? I can. Wow. Not sure I was really expected to pass him there, but he braked kind of early and left a gap on the outside, which gave me the inside for turn 2, and I managed to pull it off, so I'm pretty happy with that. Up to P3 now for the podium position. Past Kimi Raikkonen, one of our main championship rivals, with another main championship rival just ahead now in Sebastian Vettel. Oh my god, and the Force India understairs just kicking in everywhere now. I lost my right end plate on the Wall of Champion, and now I've lost my left end plate on that wall as well. So that's definitely not going to help my pace in this race, as Alonso and Raikkonen are having a bit of a scrap behind me. And it looks like Rosberg is holding up Vettel as well ahead, so that's good news for the fans and for me, fighting with Vettel in the championship. Oh, actually, I missed that kind of, but Alonso passed Raikkonen at the hairpin back there, so he's now the one challenging me from behind. Alonso has been looking the quickest and most consistent driver so far this season, which is obviously why he's leading the championship. And now we're coming towards the DRS zone. We're in the DRS zone now. Alonso is pretty close. I'm wondering if he's going to have a look, and I'm going to have to go defensive, but it's not enough, as Alonso just gone straight past me with DRS open and through the chicane. Now let's see if we can get him back to going towards turn 1. I've got a pretty good exit, but DRS is open for Alonso yet again on this straight as well, which means that he only pulls away. But then I'm going to have a late dive up the inside. I was side by side. I've now actually pulled it off to take back P3 from Fernando Alonso. I completely took him off guard there, and back to P3 we go. Unfortunately though, Vettel and Rosberg are keeping an extremely impressive pace ahead, which means that it's going to be very, very hard if I'm going to have a chance of catching them. Especially as I'm still fighting with Alonso, who's now going up the inside, going towards the hairpin. Let's see, I'm giving him some room, and he's squeezed me towards the wall. But let's see, I'm going to use my rest markers now to hopefully have a go. Not sure where the DRS line actually. Will I have DRS? No, it's Alonso having DRS, and that's going to ruin me completely, because now Kimi Raikkonen as well has DRS and gets past with it. That's put me down to P5 from P3. After only a few... Oh my god, I heard some kind of front wing braking back there. I actually think that was Felipe Massa just tapping my rear end and going straight into the Wall of Champions. Massa, who unfortunately never became a champion in real life after being so close in 2008 before getting it snatched away by Lewis Hamilton, who's now challenging Webber from behind actually, speaking of Lewis Hamilton. But we've gone up to P1 for the moment because the 4 cars that was ahead of us have gone into the pits. So now 1 lap later, and Webber is having a go at us with DRS actually. Let's see, are we gonna go into the pits? I think I am. As we are, I'm gonna take Webber back going into the pit entrance because he's braked extremely early. And with this game, you don't really have to brake at all going into the pits. So I'm completely mugged him off and got him back going into pit lane. So let's see, I'm gonna need Force India to do quick pits up here. But just like in so many races previously as well, I'm gonna have to change my front wing in the pit stop, and that's led to, oh my god, I think that's 3 cars jumping me in the pits. Hamilton, Webber, and it's like Grosjean as well, so all jump me in the pits only because of that wing change. So that is pretty annoying, I must say. And Raikkonen and Alonso obviously merged ahead of that trio as well, so I've lost out quite a bit, down to P8 now, with pretty much half the race to go. So in the DRS are now following Hamilton and Grosjean, and Hamilton's braking very early. Oh my! Oh, I thought I was gonna hit him, but instead I pulled out off an amazing overtake. Yeah, going around the outside of the chicane. That was pretty cool. So let's see if we can now challenge Grosjean as well to hopefully salvage something from this race, which looked good for a podium position, but now it's not looking as pretty after the pit stops. Gonna have to get past Grosjean very quickly if I'm gonna have any chance at the top 5, because they're pulling out a gap as we speak. So Grosjean is pretty much a moving obstacle at the moment, but my pace isn't that good around here, as I noticed in qualifying as well. The AI are pretty good, which means that it's definitely not gonna be easy for me to get a good position at the end of this race. But now we got DRS on the start-finish straight with Grosjean, and we managed to get past him long before the corners. It's a pretty easy move. And that is crucial, but I've gone a bit too deep and not had a great exit and speed around turn 2. Webber ahead is the guy who's just at the fastest lap, so they're just lighting up the timing sheets, the cars ahead, which is not good because that means that I'm going slower than them at the moment. And now this is not going to help either. Grosjean's managed to stay with me throughout that lap and got me back in the DRS zone. Hamilton behind as well is going to have DRS as well, I think. And he could well pass me going into turn 1 maybe. No, he's nowhere to be seen now. With Grosjean. Oh, and again, the moving obstacle is back. Grosjean is doing well. And as the more I'm behind Grosjean, the more I'm throwing top 5 position out of the window. Oh, this is not a place you normally overtake, is it? I'll just... That's a pretty cheeky move from me there on Grosjean at that chicane. I'll take that, back to P6. I think that might be the best I'm going to have to be hoping for now. With the top 5, as I said before, pulling out quite a gap. But here comes Grosjean, once again with DRS. This is where all the action happens in this race, on the DRS straight. Hamilton's still behind, oh my god, Hamilton's... The improved damage sensitivity of this mod has screwed Hamilton over completely, because he gave me a slight tap in the rear, in the noose as I like to say. And his front thing just fell off the car. Oh my god! Oh, well, isn't that appropriate? Just as I was speaking about front wings falling off cars, my front wing fell off the car. That is a bad mistake. I just lost it at exit that corner, to be honest, too eager on the throttle. And that's just made my race even worse. Still inside the top 10 though, but we've been passed now by Jenson Button and my teammate actually, Adrian Sutil, who's been having a pretty decent race then. And they're a bit too far ahead as we're now coming towards the end of the race. Sebastian Vettel has unfortunately won it. And Button and my teammate Adrian Sutil is having a battle at the final corner. And Sutil has gone and taken P7 from Jenson Button at the final corner. That is great for the Force India team. But I'm now just limping over the line with no fuel left in the tank to take P9 in this race. A whole 31 seconds behind the winner. And Rosberg, Raikkonen making up the top 3. Championship leader Fernando Alonso managed to hold off Webber to take 4th, and Valtteri Bottas following on from his impressive 7th place in Monaco to take another point here in Canada. So this race means that I'll drop down to 4th in the championship, just behind Raikkonen and Vettel. We're still separated by only 4 points out with the 4 of us, so it's still incredibly close, with a gap now down to Massa because of his DNF. But yeah, in this series there's no messing about. We're kind of running out of time because F1 2013 is getting ever nearer. So we're gonna jump straight on to race 8, which is in Silverstone. And you guys know that I've had some problems with AI blocking me in the previous qualifying sessions this season. So let's see what's gonna happen this time. And I paused the game in shock. I don't know what Felipe Massa was doing there, to be honest. He must have lost like all his driving skill during his meeting with the World Champions in Canada, but once again my qualifying session has been ruined by the AI. So just like in Monaco, I'm going to be starting the race from the back of the grid. And I believe we saw Rosberg and Alonso locking out the front row. So Alonso will obviously be looking out to pull out his championship gap even further. But if any of you saw my race here with Ryan in our co-op championship, you will know that I know how to get good starts around Silverstone. I went up to P6 on the first few laps that time, so let's see how many positions I can gain now. Past Gutierrez and Chilton already. As cars are braking very early, I'm going around the outside a bit too wide, but Bianca is now my next prey. Up to P18 then, going into turn 3. Let's see, gonna squeeze through the middle of everyone pretty much, and the Caterham Van der Garde. Oh, there's a bit of contact going on as well. The Van der Garde has had a good start and holding his own at the moment, but it squeezed me completely out on the curb, so I'm going to have to use a bit of curves to get around the outside, and out of the outside of Ricardo and Button as well, who's been going very slowly through these couple of corners, and up to P12 if we're going to make this stick on Button, and I can. So P12 is not quite P6 as I did in the co-op race, but P12 is not too bad. It's pretty much half the field done already. Closing a bit on Valtteri Bottas right now, using a bit of curves as well, and now we come towards the Cops corner, and I'm gonna have a look around the outside, but no, there's not enough room there. Bottas closes the door, but now I'm side by side with Bottas going in towards Magnus and Beckett. Side by side again and again. Bottas is very aggressive, leaves me very little room as well, and he's actually on the hard tires, which means that he should be slow at this point, and he's doing well to keep me behind on the hard tires. But now come towards at the end of the hangar straight, I'm side by side again. Button decided to back out because there's the Bottas Fisi roadblock up there. But I managed to get up the inside of Bottas now to go up to P11 in this race, as we have half the field yet to pass. But now skipping left forward, and oh my god, is that drizzles in the air? It's starting to rain, guys. It's actually starting to rain. Track looks like it's already starting to get a little bit damp. Don't think I'm feeling too much of a grip loss already, but that could be very interesting indeed if the rain is going to come down hard. But for the moment everyone is staying out. So now started this third lap, and Sergio Perez has gone very slow, been held up by Lewis Hamilton I believe as well. But we're going to try to go up the inside of now. Hamilton has left us quite a bit of room there, and now coming around this, Hamilton does well to not allow me to go around the outside of him. But now we're going to have DRS on this straight. Hamilton actually has DRS wide open as well, so I'm not really gonna get too much of an advantage, but pulling along the side as we go into the braking zone. And I've made a move stick, running a little bit wide, but I think we're gonna keep it on track. We are, and it's P9 then. Hamilton, wow, he's kind of trying to force his way through there. And I managed to keep P9 for the moment. So now we got a train of like 3 cars up ahead. I believe there's Grosjean just ahead there, and my teammate Adrian Sutil as well. He's far inside the points for now, so that's a good job from him in the second Force India. Let's see if we're going to have a run. And Roman Grosjean now coming onto the hangar straight. I'm using all of my curves now, and there's DRS on this straight as well actually with this mod installed. Oh, Vettel! He's had another slow down moment. That's the 3rd time this season I've seen Vettel just randomly slow down on the straight. And he's dropped back, and Sutil has actually tried to get back past me, and now going into final chicane, back past my teammate to show him who's number 1 in this team. And a bit oversteer there, but we managed to make that stick. Grip is maybe starting to fade a little bit, but no one's going to the pit for the moment. So clearly the slick tires aren't feeling too bad, despite a slightly damp track. So let's see where we are. We're in P6 then. There's a bit of a gap up now to Nico Hülkenberg, who's doing very well in the Sauber, gotta say. And it looks like the race is starting to ease off actually, so I doubt that we'll see anyone pitting for wet tires. Unfortunately, we still haven't had any rain in any of the races so far, so wouldn't mind a bit of rain, but it seems to be going away unfortunately. So we've skipped a few laps where nothing too much happened. I was up to P1 for 1 lap because I pitted 1 lap later than most other cars, but now as I'm pitting now and drop down to P5 and then P6 as well, because Hülkenberg is still driving very well and has retaken that 5th place. So back out in P6, which is where I was before all the pit stops happened anyway. So at this point my aim is to catch Nico Hülkenberg for 5th place, but the Force India isn't feeling too great around there, so I'm fearing that Grosjean and the cars behind will catch me quicker than I can catch Hülkenberg ahead. And there we go, that is exactly what has happened. Hülkenberg has pulled out a 5-second gap, and Grosjean is now challenging me as we come towards the final corners of the race. Nico Rosberg pulls off a surprise victory in Silverstone, just like he did in real life actually. And Roman Grosjean now having to go into the final chicane. I've lost Curse, but hopefully that won't matter too much. But Webber has the fast lap on the final lap, but I'm going to come across the line, holding off Grosjean to take P6. And it is a little bit disappointing because I want to be fighting with Raikkonen, Vettel and Alonso, whom I'm close with in the championship, but I'm going to have to settle for P6 for now. As you can see, Rosberg did win that race. Alonso and Raikkonen, two of my championship rivals, in second and third, so that's a bit of a shame. But, crucially, Sebastian Vettel is nowhere to be seen. We saw him slow down earlier in the race, and he only finished P12. Don't know if he had some kind of mechanical problem like he had in real life runs in Silverstone, but that is good news for us. And Felipe Massa and Jenson Button, two big name non-finishers. And this all means that I've repassed Sebastian Vettel and gone up to P3, but Raikkonen has pulled out a little bit of gap now, and he's in P2. Alonso still leading the championship as he's done all season long, but he's still within distance, so I wouldn't rule anything out just yet. I still have a chance, even if it's a bit slim, to win the championship. And boo, Mercedes have passed Force India in the Constructors' Championship, but I don't really care too much about that, and it doesn't look like my engineer do either, because they are happy, reasonably happy at least, with my P6 in the race. And with that, I thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys again very soon for Hockenheim and Hungary, where I'll hopefully be making my way back onto the podium.